What is going on, guys? Cody here. This clip you're about to watch right now is from the Trainwreck podcast. It's me and Drew giving our predictions on this week's NFL games. If y'all would please throw a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be freaking awesome. And I really, really want to hear what your guys' predictions are on this week's game. Differing opinions are always good. It helps us provide context on the NFL. So throw your predictions down in the comment section below, and I hope you have a great day. It is now time for our first ever NFL weekly predictions, and we are going to predict week one. I'm super excited for this one, Drew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, starting off week one, Thursday night opener, Detroit Lions at Kansas City Chiefs. I got the Chiefs 35-21.
I'll say I probably have the Chiefs at 35-24. I think
Mhm.
that's I think the scores we have is pretty safe.
Yeah. Um, Me and Drew don't know anything about sports gambling because it's fucking illegal here still. So we're not going to do it based off like point spreads or anything. This is just going to be our feelings on it.
Yeah.
All right. So next up is Falcons at Panthers. I don't really have a score for this one, but I think the Panthers, or I think the Falcons probably win by a touchdown.
I think the Falcons will win. I think to be honest, it'd be like 28-21. I think it'd be a kind of high scoring game.
It's kind of what I'm thinking too. It's just how Bryce Young looks in his debut, and sucks
If I
that he's
were
not.
to guess, it's gonna be a fourth quarter comeback kind of deal for the Falcons.
Yeah, it, part of it really. I mean, the key to that game is, and it's going to be the key for the Falcons all year, is just using all the running backs that they have and playing keep away. And if that's successful, then they could easily win by like over 10 points. But
Yeah, because
say
they
the
have to use every single weapon they have.
yeah, I personally hope that they run all over the Panthers because I have Bijan Robinson on my fantasy team. But I don't know. The Panthers just they're a gritty team. They don't really have a say die attitude.
Yeah.
I I just have a gut feeling. I think the Falcons are going to win the NFC South, so that's part of my reasoning. Houston Texans at Baltimore Ravens. Ravens by over 20.
Probably say same thing. And
Yeah.
but
Texans.
I think well, Lamar Jackson's going to screw up a little bit in this game, in my
It,
opinion.
yeah, I could definitely see him fumbling or throwing a pick, but I also think he's gonna. I think he's gonna have a good game, but I could definitely see him throwing a turn, throwing an interception or turning the ball over.
Yeah,
Either way, it's not gonna matter. They're still gonna kick the shit out of him. Um, my wild card prediction for that game is I think OBJ scores a touchdown.
you
Now
think that'd be his
here's an
first touchdown?
yeah, I think he's gonna score in this game.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
All right. Battle of Ohio, Cincinnati Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns. I got Cincinnati probably 31-24.
I'm I got him to 31-10.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't think the Browns is going to be that good.
I think the Browns kind of start out hot, then they become shit.
Yeah,
So I think it'll be a closer game. This is actually a game it probably wouldn't hurt to look at the spread on. But I mean, do I want the Bengals to win by a shitload? You bet your ass I do, because I think the Browns are a shitty organization and still hate what they did to Baker Mayfield. And, they got a sexual predator at quarterback.
yeah,
Cincinnati's favored by 2.5. Yeah, I think we both are going to roll with the Bengals. I said, it depends how Joe Burrow's injury that he has. I think it's a calf injury because he didn't play at all in the preseason. I don't think he really practiced much during the training camp period. So if he comes out a little rusty, They might have to rely on Joe Mixon a little bit more, and I don't think Mixon's really all that good. So, and plus the Browns still have Nick Chubb. So I could definitely see Cleveland getting out to an early lead and then the Bengals piecing it together and then taking the game over.
Yeah, it's basically Joe Burrow busting up some rust.
Jacksonville Jaguars at Indianapolis Colts. The Colts suck. Jacksonville by over 10.
Yeah, I'd probably say Jacksonville 28-14.
I think Jacksonville, actually, now I think about it, I think Jacksonville wins like 42-7. I
You
think
think it's gonna be
Trevor,
that bad?
yeah, I think Trevor Lawrence throws for like 4 touchdowns and Calvin Ridley catches at least one. And
You're not
then
saying that because you have Trevor Lawrence your fantasy team.
Tampa
This will
Bay
be interesting one.
Buccaneers. What?
So this will be an interesting one right here.
Yeah, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Minnesota Vikings. This is my upset. I think Tampa Bay is going to win.
I think this is gonna be a duel.
Yeah, I think this game could easily be 35-32.
Yeah, it's gonna win by a field goal.
Yeah. I think it's going to be kind of one of those like Baker Mayfield early season hype, and I mean, people aren't giving Mayfield, they're not talking about him that much, but he has Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. I think they have Russell Gage still. I mean, they have weapons. They don't really have a running back. But I think Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans is going to be a really good combo. Now, can Tampa's defense hold against Justin Jefferson?
No,
No. I think Justin Jefferson's going to have at least 100 yards.
they're pretty much got two corners on them.
Yeah. And that's still not going to work.
Nope.
But I don't know. Just a gut feeling that Tampa is going to win.
He's going to really rely on the time of session if that ever happens.
Yeah. And that's the thing where Tampa's going to struggle is because they don't really have a running back. And the Vikings got Alexander Madison, and
Yeah,
he's going to have something to prove because they chose him over Dalvin Cook.
that's some pretty big shoes to fill.
Yeah. So maybe, fuck it. I'm going with the Vikings. Kind of
I'm
talked myself into it.
gonna stick with the Buccaneers.
Trevor just nutted everywhere. Tennessee Titans at New Orleans Saints. I'm rolling with the Saints on this. I like Derrick Henry, but nothing else on the Titans impressed me. They're kind of an old ass team. I don't think DeAndre Hopkins is really going to add anything to that offense because who's going to throw him the ball? Tannehill sucks. Malik Willis sucks. Will Levis sucks. Um, all they got is Derrick Henry. Now the Saints, I'm very intrigued by them because I have a feeling that Derek Carr and Michael Thomas are going to be a good connection. They're not going to have Alvin Kamara because he's suspended. But Derek Carr, I think Derek Carr has one of like the better records week one in the NFL, or at least performance wise. He always shows up in week one.
Yeah,
So I am rolling with the Saints.
as a Derek Carr fan, I would say the Saints, but I think that Titans defense will give them some trouble. But yeah, like the Titans defense is there's nothing to sleep on still.
Yeah.
It's if you get pressure on Derek Carr, that's when he starts making a lot of mistakes. And that's what the Titans front line is able to pretty much good doing is creating pressure. But I still say the Saints will win. I think it's gonna be like a 21-30. Saints at 35-21.
All right. 49ers at Steelers. I get the 49ers. I'm a big cock Brock believer. I like the Steelers too. I like Najee Harris. I like Kenny Pickett. George Pickens is really fucking good, but they're not 49ers good. Even if they don't have Nick Bosa, they still got a good defense. They still got Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Yeah, 49ers, I think are going to win this. It's going to be fairly close game. Mike Tomlin, I think, is the second best coach in the NFL right now behind Andy Reid. Um, yes, Bill Belichick has fallen down that ladder, and I think he's going to have them ready to play. And the 49ers offense isn't anything complicated. It's just they have their scheme down and they have it down flawlessly and they execute it flawlessly.
Yeah, it's
But
just like you can't deny Christian McCaffrey.
yeah, I think the Steelers put up a good fight, but the 49ers are going to win.
I think the fact that 49ers have more weapons than the Steelers, that's the reason why they're gonna win.
Hmm. Yeah.
But it's
And
gonna be
like,
it's really tight match.
and if the Steelers offensive line is improved, this is going to be a make or break year for Najee Harris because it's like, okay, yeah, he had over 1,000 yards his first 2 years, but he looks like he runs in quicksand. He looks like Ezekiel Elliott. And
Ooh.
so now he can't hide behind the, oh, my O line sucks. If their offensive line is better this year and he doesn't have a breakout year, I feel like the Steelers might be in a market for a running back in the draft next year. Arizona Cardinals at Washington. Washington. Arizona sucks.
Yeah, say Washington as well.
Packers at Bears. I'm rolling with the Packers. Packers fans, you have a chance to make it up to me. Now you guys don't have that whiny douchebag at quarterback anymore. You guys are still fucking douchebags, but I like you a little bit more. And I think the Bears suck, so I'll pick y'all to win.
No, you guys are still douchebags, but Packers was probably gonna win.
Yeah. Um, could it be fairly competitive? Maybe it. I mean, the Bears looked good in the preseason. DJ Moore, I mean, that's a big acquisition for them, but Jordan Love has a lot to prove this year. And
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
was just not a big Justin Fields believer.
now Justin Fields, it's more of he has like 4 or 5 good highlights a game. And you're like, oh shit, he's awesome. And then you see the rest of the game and it's like, okay, he sucks.
He's your typical Ohio quarterback.
Yeah.
Few highlights and a lot of interceptions.
All right. Now, this next game, you don't have to give a prediction if you don't feel like jinxing your team. You can talk about it and not give a prediction. Raiders at Broncos. I'm rolling with the Raiders just because the Broncos, even in the preseason, don't look like they got much better. And I really think Russell Wilson's on the downcline. So I think Jimmy G has a decent game and the Raiders win.
I say the Raiders win. I've been reading a couple of reports that the Broncos alliance it's really beaten up still, and they're still
Yeah.
recovering from injuries. And
Mhm.
Russell Wilson's on the decline. And not only that, Broncos defense, it's okay. There's nothing to be scared of, really.
Mhm.
I think our O line should be able to hold up, and that's saying a lot because our O line's not that good. But I think Jimmy G is going to make some plays, and Max Crosby's going to tear up Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Dolphins at Chargers. This is a tough game to pick, actually. They're very evenly matched. And that's a tough one. I'm rolling with the Chargers. I don't know by how much or how. It's really a toss up, but I'm going with the Chargers.
I'm going to roll with Miami because it's not because I hate the Chargers. I just think that the Dolphins offense is a little bit more younger, more healthy than against the Chargers defense.
Mhm.
Because I've watched a couple of Chargers defense in preseason. Even if they played a lot of their starters, it's not been very consistent.
I just feel like Miami's really going to miss Mike Gesicki as like the safety valve, is you
Yeah.
got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill who can take the tops off of defenses. But who's going to be that security blanket? Maybe Cedric Wilson, but I think the Dolphins are going to miss Mike Gesicki, and that's kind of one reason I'm picking the Chargers to win because it's going to take time to develop for the Dolphins.
Yeah. I feel
Eagles
like
at
it's gonna I feel like it's gonna be a Chargers mistake. It's gonna cost them the game.
That's very possible, but the Dolphins are also going to be missing Jalen Ramsey.
True.
Eagles at Patriots. Eagles by a lot.
Yeah. This
I
is
know the I know the Patriots are going to be honoring Tom Brady during this game. And I feel like they might help fire them up, but I don't think Bill Belichick has an answer for Jalen Hurts.
yeah, I agree. I feel like Jalen Hurts is gonna it's gonna he has a couple eyes on him.
Yeah. Rams at Seahawks. Seahawks, Rams suck. They're not even going to have Cooper Cup, it looks like, in this game. I think the Seahawks win by 14.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Geno boat because I'm I'm believing Geno. I'm more believable Geno than fucking Justin Fields.
Now, I'm not picking this next game because I'm not jinxing us, but I am going to talk about the Cowboys and Giants and what I think the Cowboys need to do. Get Tony Pollard involved early, see how he is because he didn't play. Well, none of the starters played in the preseason, but see how Tony Pollard looks rolling early. Start out ground and pound, and the Giants always sell out to play action. They're not very good once a team starts running on them and they start running and play action. So I'm saying ground and pound, and then you can let CD and Brandon Cooks take the tops out the defenses. That being said, a mobile quarterback like Daniel Jones, the Cowboys don't do good against mobile quarterbacks. Saquon, you know, he only got that 1 year deal. He's definitely going to have something to prove in this game. I'm not picking a winner, but I'm just saying how I think both teams can win. Plus, the Giants got Darren Waller, and I think he's a beast, and that might help Daniel Jones. And I mean, we got good safeties that can cover Waller, but I think he can. I think he can break through. Drew, what's your prediction?
I'd probably say the Cowboys would win 35-17.
All right.
Because I'm Danny Dimes is not the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think Daniel Jones sucks, but yeah, I'm not predicting Cowboys games. That's kind of my role for myself. I go into every game thinking we're gonna lose. That way, at least I'm less disappointed. People may say like, "Oh, that's not true fandom." I'm like, I've been a Cowboys fan for a long time, and I've seen us lose a lot of games that I thought we were gonna win. A perfect example: 2 years ago, I thought we were gonna stomp the Broncos, and we got the absolute living shit beat out of us. And ever since then, I'm like, I'm never saying the Cowboys are guaranteed to win ever again. Buffalo Bills at New York Jets. This is a hard overhead prediction. Going with the Bills 30-27.
I'm probably go with the Bills 33 to 21.
You, so you think it's going to be a two-score game?
Yeah. I think it's because the Bills defense is able to contain Rodgers more.
I mean,
Because he's playing the AFC now, was more defensive focused.
would I love that? Hell yeah, because I think Rodgers is a douchebag, but I feel like the Jets are just gonna come out full of fucking piss and vinegar, and I feel like they're gonna make it more competitive. I don't think that trend's gonna continue throughout the season once they kind of realize how much of a cunt Aaron Rodgers is. But I'm not picking them to win, and you bet your ass I ain't predicting a game against the Cowboys next week. Is the boogeyman's coming to Dallas. But those are our week 1 NFL predictions. That will be included on this week's episode, and I will probably clip it out and upload it separately on my channel.